Chapter 1. Breaking Apart and Picking Up the Pieces. I was 11 years old the Sunday afternoon that our family fell apart. My sister was 12 and my brother was 15. We were a typical family in a neighborhood of brick ranch houses in Waco, Texas. My brother and I played with kids on our street. Sometimes we played tackle football with boys in the street. We went to church on Sunday mornings and evenings and on Wednesday nights. If there was anything unusual about our family, it was that I don't remember ever seeing my parents argue. That Sunday afternoon, we came home from a week-long family vacation. We're just getting settled back in when our parents called my brother, sister, and me into the living room. They needed to talk to us. We all sat down, and they explained that they had wanted to take us on one last trip together as a family. One last trip, I thought, confused. Are we out of money? Then they said, we're getting a divorce, and my head was like, what? The words didn't make sense. What did they mean, divorce? I looked at my brother, then my sister, to see if they were as confused as I was, or to find some clue that this was a joke I just wasn't getting, but nobody was smiling. Over the next 30 minutes or so, without explaining why, our parents laid out the logistics of the situation. Mom would live somewhere else, and Dad would stay in the house. The three of us would choose which parents we wanted to live with. How could I make a choice like that? Right now? Mom or Dad? I was 11. How does a kid decide something like that? Well, Dad sometimes took me deer hunting, I thought, and I like to hunt. So that was the best reason I could come up with for saying, I'll stay with Dad. My brother stayed with Dad too, and my sister went to live with our mother, and that was that. Except it got worse, much worse, very soon. Within a few months, our father had married another woman. His new wife had 2 children of her own, and my brother Mike and I didn't necessarily fit into that picture. They actually tried to make us all a family for a while, and even moved my sister Cora in with us. One day, I walked into the living room just as my stepmother slapped Cora, so I jumped on my stepmother and held her down until my father came home a short while later. It was obvious that this living arrangement was not going to work, so they all moved out, including my father, and Dad let my brother and me live in the house in Waco. My sister moved back in with our mom. This was when my brother and I literally began living on our own. Mike was 15 and I was 11. We basically lived with little to no adult supervision. No aunts or uncles or foster parents or anything like that. My older brother was in charge. Our situation was a potential disaster for all of us. Yet I never felt abandoned or even scared. Dad checked on us. Mom called. I always believed in their love for me. They had taught us to be self-reliant since we were very young. Mike and I both hunted deer and dressed everything we killed from the time when we were not much taller than our rifles. With Mike around, I was confident in our ability to make it work. Lots of kids believe they can take care of themselves. They hear stories about characters such as Mowgli in the Jungle Book or the Lost Boys in Peter Pan who made it on their own and think, yeah, I could do that. We live the story in real life. You never know what you can do until you have to do it. And we did.